This is Meek from Visions of Atlantis, and you're listening to Rockum Radio.
Pirates II Armada promises to be Visions of Atlantis' heaviest symphonic adventure yet. What new and unique elements can fans expect in this album compared to Pirates from 2022, and how has the band's sounds evolved in this new work?
So, Pirates II Armada, from the name, already evokes, a war scene. It's about, the fights that. Of course, it's a metaphor because it's not like we dress up like pirates just, to for no reason, just for fun, just for the marketing aspects. Like we are storytellers. I'm telling this to everyone because the world needs storytelling. When you read a book, you're reading a story. There is a meaning behind the story, but you want to escape from reality and enter the universe of the book. You go to the cinema, it's the same thing. You don't buy that a man can, get angry and become green and bigger like the Hulk if you don't create a universe that allows something like this. Like, why would you? It would be unrealistic, but in that universe, it becomes real. But once you understand and you accept that universe, you are like, okay, I buy this. I believe it, and we are doing the same. We want to have video clips and outfits and photos and songs that have this pirate universe because it's important to make people buy what we are telling, so that it becomes so normal that we are pirates that you can focus on the message that the story will tell you. And the story, like when you are a kid and you watch a cartoon, you will never forget about the meaning behind the story, right? Because when you enter that universe, you will remember about this forever, and you want to fight for the good, or you have a favorite character and whatever it is. Now, Pirates 1 was a record about freedom. The main message that was recurrent during the songs was a message of freedom, of liberty. We are pirates. We are free spirits. We decide how to live by the day. We don't want rules, Now, Pirates 2, it's a darker record because it talks about war. The meaning, the message behind Pirates 2 is the fights, but we mean the inner fights, the struggles that we have every day, the fights that we have to face every day, because life is difficult and you have battles, you have small battles like moving a furniture in your new house, or you have bigger fights, the fights with your wife, the fights with your girlfriend, the fights with your family, or even bigger fights, like everyone has its own fights. And in the pirate universe, the fights are overseas, like there are battles that you have to fight. And to fight battles, you need an armada. You need people, you need fighters, you need, fans that dress up like pirates, come on board and fight together with you because they want to fight against their own struggles. This, on the musical side, means heavier sounds, heavier music, darker thematics, because how can you express all this concept in a proper way if you don't make it heavier, So if Pirates was dramatic, theatrical, cinematographic, and at the same time harmonious and melodic, this record definitely has heavier drums, heavier riffing. It's a bit more heavy, I would say, like a bit more metal in general, to make it simple, because this is what a battle needs. This is how you do it on the musical side to evoke battles.
You had comments about monsters. You mentioned that about that the worst enemies are those we can face with cannons and sabers,
Yeah. Like in Monsters especially, there is an important concept, which is like the mirror. If you look at the video, if you watch the video, Clementine and I, like our pirate counterparts, of course, they look at the mirror, and it's in the mirror that they see the monsters. And you know why this happens? Because we believe that when you wake up in the morning and you go to the bathroom or to your room or whatever it is, and you look at yourself in the mirror, this is the only moment in the entire day, together with the same happening in the evening, in which you truly look at yourself. Because after this moment, you have to put an outfit, a uniform if you go to work, you know, a suit if you're going to, you know, if you have certain jobs, or like, you know, you have to change yourself and to present yourself in a certain way, because you need to be part of a community or part of a working environment, you know. But in the morning, that person that you look at in the eyes, when you look at yourself, that person, you know all the secrets about him. And some secrets are good, some secrets are little monsters that we need to fight and accept, you know, and this is the concept behind that song.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tell me, Michele, how was the process of composing and recording Pirates II Armada? Was there any particular memorable or challenging moment during the album's production?
So there is one moment that I keep on repeating because it's not the first time I hear this question, but it's always fun. So we never stopped writing. Okay, we never stopped writing. Like the first songs from Pirates 2, they were drafted, you know, the demos were recorded like 2 or 3 weeks after we stopped recording Pirates 1. And it's not like we lock ourselves in the studio and we stay there for a month composing, and then after that we stop until the next record. Like some songs, they come out immediately, then maybe there are 3 months in which we don't write any song, and then 2 more come out, and so on. But when inspiration arrives, we put ourselves down and we write and we record. And funny story, there is a song called Collide in the record. Okay. And this song we wrote on tour with Delane in September 2023 in the United States, in Mesa, actually, because I felt the inspiration when I woke up and I was like, okay, I need to write this down. So I got my computer, my little sound card. I've asked Dushi for the guitar. Dushi is our guitar player. We call him Dushi, but his name is Christian. I asked for Herbert for the bass, and I wrote the orchestration and I wrote the drums, and we recorded with a stupid microphone in the tour bus, and we recorded a song in like 6 hours between the morning and the evening in the tour bus. Can you believe it? In the tour bus. I mean, I'm sure we're not the only ones, but this is a funny story.
Wow. Well, that's the way that rock stars do it. They're recording ways that they have that inspiration.
When it comes, what you should do, you know, like you can't let it go. You can't let it go.
How has it been working with Clementine on this album? And how has your vocal collaboration evolved compared to previous work?
So important to say that Clemmy writes all the lyrics. She writes all the scripts for all the videos, and she creates the universe that is behind Visions of Atlantis. So when it comes to the messages and the presentation, this is all thanks to Clemmy's mind. Of course, we discuss it, we talk about it, but it's all her creation. When it comes to the music and the melodies, this is 90% of my creation. But even if I am the songwriter, I truly believe, you know, that my view of the band, my vision of the band is that my vision of the Visions of Atlantis is that Clemmy is the main face of this band. You know, she is the lead singer. You know, like she is the lead singer. I am the lead singer with only one lead. She is the lead singer, and every song that I write should dress Clemmy perfectly. It's so important to me, you know, because she is the expression of this band. I adapt to her concepts. I adapt to her dynamics. I adapt to her approach to the song. So whatever I write, first of all, needs to be perfect for her voice. So what happens is that normally I write a song, I record the demo, then I send it to Clemmy and I ask her, hey, can you record whatever I wrote? And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we rearrange it. And this happened for quite some songs in this record, in which working together, because she felt like it was not comfortable for her way of singing, or just in terms of mood. Sometimes it's an emotional thing, you know. She was like, okay, I don't see myself in this melody. So we scrambled it, we adjusted it, we changed it. And this, for instance, happened in The Land of the Free, the second track, but the first track is the intro to Land of the Free. So I wrote the verse, she tried to sing the verse, and she was like, I'm not convinced. So we stayed there for, you know, like a couple hours trying to rearrange it. And in the end, the melody that you're listening to, this is Clemmy's melody on my music, but it's Clementine's that she basically rearranged the melody and did it her own way. And it works perfectly. So there is absolutely no ego. What matters is that it's efficient and it works. because when you feel free and comfortable in singing, then you can express yourself. If you have to think about what you're doing, technique, because it's not, or even just if you don't find yourself comfortable, it becomes complicated to express yourself properly.
Wow, it's great. It's good to know that you're a good balance, not only in voices, it's composition and creation. That's fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And also it's great right now that everything comes from us, from us as a band, not from us, Clemmy and I, only. It's great that, because for instance, in Pirates, and this you can read in the booklet, like 5 songs were written by our producer, and 6 were written by us. Now with Pirates 2, it all comes from the band, and I believe that there is this magic and special energy in the songs that you write yourself, because it's a different connection. It truly is a different connection. And I'm so happy that we reached this point. Of course, the producer is still there. Felix has credit for a lot in terms of arrangement and fixes and adjustments to the song. But having the song composed by the band, this is beautiful.
Talking about that, the album includes a variety of sounds and orchestral elements. Were there any special collaboration in terms of production or orchestral arrangement for Pirates II Armada?
So there is a chain, there is a working chain that starts from me, because I put down all the first orchestras it's not even that basic. I think I'm pretty good in what I'm doing. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be, what's the word? Like, not humble. I don't want to be showing off, Not humble. Yeah, not humble. I want to show off, but I think that what I'm doing it in a nice way, but still it's not the top notch, because the guy that we are working with, which is called Lukas Knöbel, he's also from Austria. He writes orchestrations and arranges orchestras for movies and video games, real movies and real video games. And when I give him my ideas and I have back what he does, it feels so much richer, so much more complete. It's unbelievable. And this is mastering your own field. This is mastering your own field. If I was an orchestral arrangement, I would have dedicated my life only to do this, but I'm a singer. He did this. He dedicated his life to orchestra arrangements, and this is clearly hearable between the difference of what I do and what he does. And of course, then there are some solo instruments, some solo parts that cannot be done by the computer. You need real instruments. And basically almost every song has some solo instruments that do themes, that play themes that are recorded by real musicians.
From your personal perspective, how have you grown and changed as a musician since joining Visions of Atlantis, and how is that reflected in your performance on Pirates II Armada?
I have to say, I say with an open heart, Visions of Atlantis totally changed my life. Where I'm living, what like the work I'm doing, like even the person I am nowadays, I think this had a massive change for the better since when I joined Visions. Like, there are so many things that change in my life thanks to this band, and I will be eternally grateful to Siegfried for having invited me, and to my comrades with whom I'm playing with, because it has been a life-changing experience, and I only see growth, and it's only getting better and better. And I've learned a lot, because it's the first band with whom I work with a producer, with an external producer. Even in Wanderers, when we first recorded Wanderers, there was this person in the studio, Frank Peter, that was recording us and telling us, you can do this better, you can do this worse. And before that, I was recording on my own, and this improved me as a singer, because it made me understand what is the different perception of me singing when listened to the outside. Because I have my conviction, but having someone telling me, hey, let's try to do this, opened my mind. And of course, this, you do it once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times. Now with Pirates II Armada, I arrived in the studio with such a bigger knowledge and awareness of my vocals and my vocality in general. And yeah, I'm not the same singer. I know my PowerPoints and I know my weak spots that I have to avoid. Thanks to them, thanks to Clemmy telling me something, thanks to Frank, thanks to Felix, thanks to the job we've done together. And yeah, it truly opens up your mind. But it's not only about the musician. Even just the fact that three guys are from Austria, Clemmy's from France, and I'm from Italy. It literally makes you understand how it is to live with people with a completely different background, a completely different culture. And this has nothing to do with music. But Austrians have their own way of doing certain things. French people have their own way of, and you learn how to live with people that is different, but different doesn't mean worse, just means different.
You're a grateful guy. Amazing. That's good.
I am so grateful, man. I like this. I'm thankful to this band in a way that it's beyond imagination. Yeah.
Are there any new elements or musical style that you experiment with in Pirates II Armada that you haven't explored before?
Yes, there are simple elements and more complex elements that we have experimented. For instance, a really silly, stupid thing that I would like to mention is the fact that before Armada, the single itself, Visions of Atlantis didn't have a single song that from the beginning to the end didn't have a pattern, a rhythm break. Armada is the first song that starts with, let's say, power metal and ends with power metal. Because if you think of it, Legion of the Seas had this, slow part in the middle. Master the Hurricane has the slow part in the middle. In My World has, the instrumental part with the flute that comes in the center. Melancholy Angel has after the solo has the break. Then you have, I could mention all the songs. And if you think of it, every song, there is no song in our discography of the new era of Visions of Atlantis that starts with a bang and keeps you with your breath running from the beginning to the end. And Armada has it, and then this new, this screams, "Hail Jolly Roger, brave Armada," that are recurrent in the song. This is something we never did before. It's a heavy metal song from the A to the Z. It's just a banger. Someone would call it a banger. And this is a simple new thing that for some reason we never did before. But at the same time, there are more interesting things. For instance, there is a song called "Tonight I'm Alive."
Okay.
This song, I wrote it after I have been in Marrakesh in Morocco. And in Morocco, in the main square, which is called Jima El Fna, street musicians, they gather in the evening to play percussions together and sing together. And when I listened to this, I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, it gave me some sort of inspiration that I wanted to report and to recreate in a song of ours. And this is why the song has a rhythm that we never used. It's an ethnic, let's say North African rhythm, that we never had in any song before. And it's pretty special, in my opinion. And there are several little things here and there in the record in which you will say, oh, this from Visions of Atlantis, I've never heard. I invite people to listen to the record and to compare it with what has been done before, because it's interesting if you listen to it with the right ears.
Wow. Your previous album, Pirates, was well received. What expectation do you have for the critical reception of Pirates II Armada? And how do you handle feedback, both positive and negative?
That's a really good question. And to be fair, we don't want to have expectations, because in the moment in which you create an expectation towards yourself, you also allow yourself to be deluded, like delusion jumps in. Because if the expectations are not matched, that's what happens, And I believe in the power of spontaneity. Mm-hmm. And we write in such a spontaneous and sincere way that I don't even want to think about what they will think. This is who we are. What we have written right now is Visions of Atlantis at their best in this specific time frame. We couldn't do any better because we put all the possible effort in our music, and the songs we composed, they just reflect who we are as musicians right now. So if people won't like it, it's something that don't concerns us, not because we don't care, but because we did our best. We just did everything we could, and we truly brought this music out of our heart. It's like taken from here and recorded, giving heart and soul to it. So there is nothing that can be said that we won't listen to, but at the same time, nothing that can be said that will affect us in a way, because this is who we are. Again, it's super sincere, it's super spontaneous. It's us.
All right. The album cover is stunning.
Thank you very much.
Honestly, it's better
Thank you very much.
than the past one. This is great.
That's good to hear. And the artist that drew the cover, it's a perfect combination for what we're trying to do, Blake Armstrong, because he works for metal bands, but he also works for the cinema. And considering what I've said plenty of times during this interview, about our will to make it emerge between three arts and the visual aspect that we are bringing in and the cinematic aspect that we want to have in our music, having an artist that works in the cinema and loves metal was just perfect. And I think this is the reason why this artwork is so beautiful and so perfect for what we're doing. Like it's like who else than someone who prepares posters for the movies, who could have done it better than him? Like it's just, we were lucky finding him.
How do you mentally and physically prepare for such an extensive tour like the upcoming European tour? Do you have any rituals or routine you follow before going on stage?
Not really, but what matters the most, in my opinion, is being happy with yourself, especially when it comes to what you eat and how much you sleep. Because these two elements are the ones that become the most difficult on tour. And I believe that this is underrated in terms of difficulty that musicians find on the road. Because, when you're home and you know what you like, you go yourself to the grocery store, you buy your food, you cook it yourself most of the times, and you know what you like. So your body not only gets used to it, but feels happy with what you're doing because you get what you want. And of course, unless there are some stressful times, you know when to tell yourself, okay, now I go to bed, I stop watching television or do something in the evening, because tomorrow at 7, I have to wake up and I have to do this. On the road, you are across the border between, one country and the other, for instance, between Austria and Switzerland, and you have to show your passport. And if this happens at 4 a.m., you have to wake up at 4 a.m. And if you gotta get the ferry to go to the UK, that's what happens. You have to get up, and if it's 2 a.m., it's 2 a.m. If you travel and you tour South America, or if you cross border between United States and Canada, you have to wake up whenever it is. So your sleeping routine is completely fucked up, if you allow the term, because you go to bed when it's extremely late after the show, and you wake up sometimes really early because you have to do these kind of things. And you arrive at the venue, and not always you get the food you ask for in the rider. Sometimes you have to arrange yourself and be creative. So it's extremely important to keep track of these two elements, because if these two elements are balanced, then your daily routine keeps on going as if you were at home, except for the fact that you wake up in a new city every day. But if it doesn't, you start to feel hungry, or you start to feel like you didn't eat properly, or you start to feel too heavy and performing on stage becomes more difficult, or you feel tired because you didn't sleep enough. So these are challenges that, especially for a singer who is a musician that sings with its own body, it's so difficult, man. It's so difficult. And it's, I don't want to sound like a weak person that complains, but I really need to take care of this, because you have to perform no matter what, 2 hours every day, plus the sound check, plus the meet and greet, plus everything else that happens during the day. And you have to be in perfect shape, because if you don't sing properly, people are disappointed because they paid the ticket to see your show, So it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Crazy question, right?
Yeah.
If you could live the life of a real pirate for a day, what would be the first thing you do? And which historical or fictional pirate would you want to sail with?
So I would want to drink grog. because in every pirate video game, they mention grog, and I never, ever found grog in my life. I don't know if you have it in Canada. I don't know if they have it in the United States. In Europe, I cannot find grog. I would like to try some grog. I don't know what grog is. Okay, I wanna taste it. I wanna feel it. Every pirate drinks grog. Where is this grog? Who did this grog? Where is the grog? And the fictional pirate I would want to travel with is Mr. Guybrush Threepwood from the video game Monkey Island. Because basically he is my childhood hero. He was not a pirate. He wanted to become a pirate. He was not cut to do the pirate, absolutely. But through the video games, he became a true hero. You know, even if he was a loser, but he made it. And if he made it, everyone can make it. I want to think this way. You know, even if he's a fictional character.
When you are not creating epic symphony metal, what are some of your unexpected hobbies or interests that fans might be surprised to learn about?
I love photography. I discovered this during the pandemic. When we were taking band pictures, when we were taking, photo shootings with all the activities they have been doing, I was always interested in what the photographer was doing and how was he doing, and I was always kind of critical towards the pictures taken. Not only not towards the photographer, but also towards my way of posing, my way of doing things, and so on. And I was like, maybe I should try myself. And I got to meet some photographers. I became a big friend with some photographers, and they taught me some basic skills. And I was okay. Now it's time for me, since the pandemic locks us down, to buy a camera. I did it, and I developed this passion. And right now I have, I don't publish it because it's not really my thing. I don't do it for the others. It's a pleasure for myself. But I have some good pictures that I like, and it satisfies me to take photos, to explore photography. It's something that, it's my hobby. Let's say it's my hobby.
Oh, try to share a couple, at least on Instagram.
I will. I will.
Do you have any final words for your fans in this interview, Michele?
So first of all, I want to thank you, because I think that sometimes your job as an interviewer is underestimated. Like you guys, you interviewers, and people on the radio, people on videos on YouTube, YouTubers, and everything. You allow us to give more information about our record. I'm really talkative. I talk a lot, but this is because it's such a short time. We have half an hour. In half an hour, I have so much to say about what's behind the meaning of our song, behind our record. So the first big thank you goes to you for allowing us to do this. It's important. And it doesn't matter how many people listen to this or that other podcast or this or this interview. Even if it's one person only, I will have had the chance to tell this person something more than just in the record. And of course, the second thanks goes to the fans that are listening to the music. And for those who don't know Visions of Atlantis, I've said so much that I hope I convinced you at least to go on YouTube and watch one of our videos. And if this somehow grasps you and makes you think, okay, I buy these pirates, I want to try this experience once, then get a ticket for our concert, because we are coming to your city for sure. We are trying to play everywhere in the world, so your country will be next.